When people talk about language learning, they usually talk about tools, apps, methods, schedules, but real progress does not come from tools. It comes from behavior. The best practices for language learning are not shortcuts. They are habits that match how the brain actually learns over time. Let me walk you through 10 of them, and for each one, I will give you a concrete example. Language starts with understanding. You need regular exposure to language that you mostly understand, even if it is not perfect. For example, if you are learning English, this could mean watching a YouTube video where you understand about 70%, listening to a podcast on a familiar topic, reading articles that are challenging but not overwhelming. You do not need to understand every word. You need to follow the message. This kind of input helps your brain notice patterns naturally. Word order, common phrases, grammar in use. If you skip this stage and jump straight into speaking, your output will feel forced. Input is the foundation. Language also needs context. Words and grammar stick when they appear inside real situations. For example, learning a word inside a meeting clip, reading it in an email, hearing it used in a story. Context shows you how language is actually used, not just what it means. When learning relies only on word lists or grammar rules, using the language later becomes difficult. You also need tolerance for ambiguity. You will not understand everything. That is normal. You might miss words while listening. You might not fully understand a sentence while reading. If you still understand the main idea, that counts. Stopping to translate or analyze everything slows learning. Clarity comes later through repetition. Next, focus on meaning before accuracy. Communication works when meaning comes first. If you try to fix every grammar mistake while speaking, your brain overloads. Instead, ask yourself one question: did they understand my idea? Accuracy improves over time through exposure and use. Fluency needs flow. Now we move to output. Speaking and writing turn understanding into usable skills. This can be speaking in class, recording voice notes, writing short messages, or emails. Expect hesitation, expect mistakes. That is not failure, that is practice. If you wait until you feel ready, progress slows. Output works best when pressure is low. Input and output must ultimately be balanced. Listening and reading build familiarity, while speaking and writing test what you know. You don't need to practice this in equal time, but you do need to have them both present over time. Some weeks require more input, while others require more output. This is completely normal. Memory also matters. Learning strengthens when language returns over time. Seeing a phrase in a video, meeting it again in an article, using it later in conversation. This spaced repetition builds strong memory. Cramming fades quickly. Consistency matters more than intensity. 10 minutes every day beats 2 hours once a week. Small, regular contact keeps language familiar. It reduces effort and reduces burnout. At some point, progress will feel slow. You will repeat the same mistakes. Improvement will feel invisible. This is a plateau, and plateaus are consolidation stages. Your brain is stabilizing patterns. Processing is becoming faster, and accuracy is improving quietly. Stay steady. Finally, adjust your expectations as learning progresses. Early learning will feel fast, while later learning feels kind of complex. Beginners build familiarity, intermediate learners build flexibility, and advanced learners refine control. Different stages create different types of progress. When expectations match reality, motivation survives. These practices work as a system. Input feeds output, context supports memory, repetition stabilizes learning, consistency protects progress. When learners understand this system, they stop chasing shortcuts and they start making steady, sustainable progress.